containing dribble drives, in particular, though, taking care of the ball and keep those two out of transition.
Interesting matchup at the 5 as well as they jump center. I want to watch Lynn Kidd, who leads the ACC in field goal percentage and is so much better this year, and how he battles with Malik Brown. Syracuse with it first. Judah Mintz trying to post up Hunter Couture, kills his dribble, brings it back outside to Brown. Here is Starling getting downhill as he does, a little strong off the window, and coming away with it is Sean Pedulla. Good closeout by Mintz. Couture can shoot it as well as anybody. MJ Collins also a key part in the backcourt. Robbie Barron, Lynn Kidd, the starting 5 for Coach Young and the Hokies. Well, there's why Lynn Kidd leads the ACC in efficiency shooting the basketball.
And all set up, though, by a great post-entry pass that time. Lobbed over the defense as we take a look at the starting 5 for Syracuse. Virginia Tech starts out in man-to-man. Again, key thing, the ball screen defense.
Forced shot with 5 on the shot clock. Bell missed it. Sean Pedulla listed at 6'1", 195. A junior from Edmond, Oklahoma. Although he has New York roots, he's still got lots of cousins in New Jersey and in the greater New York City area. Tough runner in the lane, off the mark by Robbie Barron, the Northwestern grad transfer.
Great job on the defensive glass that time, blocking out by Syracuse.
Here's Brown, gathers, goes up, and that's why he shoots at such a high percentage.
And the key thing, both these bigs, call them wings, they do so much. Post-entry passes, that's twice now, both teams. High lobbing post-entry passes, pinpoint, all they had to do is catch and lay it up.
Syracuse is coming off a rousing victory over Notre Dame on Saturday on Jim Boeheim Day. Pedulla misses the reverse. 88-85. The Orange opened up a 29-point first-half lead and then held on for dear life. J.J. Starling was one of 5 double-figure scorers on Saturday. He's got his first 2 here tonight.
That's the key right there. Transition D for Virginia Tech. That time, J.J. Starling just beat everybody up the court. These guards of Syracuse, they are fast, and they want to get up and down, make or miss.
Barron, no. Long rebound, tracked down by Justin Taylor, who was so good in the win over the Irish, and he has struggled so mightily with his shooting this year. His teammates recognize the difference, and that was a big part of what he did against Notre Dame, not settling for the 3, which hasn't gone for him this year. Make a cut and have a teammate find you.
And Brown, that is a beautiful pass. Underrated part of Malik Brown's game, his passing ability. That's a beautiful dime that time to the cutting Syracuse player. Again, they're going to need more of that. Paint touches and then get guys moving.
You know, Orange associate head coach Jerry McNamara says Malik Brown is as good a passing big as there is in the country. Hunter Couture with his first 2 points. A young man out of Gotha, Florida, just outside of Orlando, makes it 6-4. Orange on top with the basketball.
This matchup right here, Couture against Judah Mintz.
And the whistle comes against Couture. And so Judah Mintz, who only Zach Edey in the country among power conference players, goes to the free throw line more. And Mike Young is acutely aware of it, in his 5th year as head coach at his hometown school. He's a 60-year-old native of Radford, Virginia, who Malcolm grew up going to Hokies games. Alan Bristow was his guy. He loved watching Alan Bristow play in the early 70s as a Hokie, and now living a dream come true. Now, he played at Emory and Henry College back in the 80s, a D2 school in Virginia, but at his heart, at his core as a kid, he was a Hokie.
He is, and obviously that fits him well, doing a great job with this Virginia Tech program. 2 NCAA tournaments, postseason. So, again, going in the right direction, but it starts with his backcourt. Couture and Pedulla, 2 of the best.
As we've seen around college basketball this year, it's a lot tougher to win as a road team. And so far this season, Virginia Tech has won only 1 true road game. They are 1-8 outside of Blacksburg in 2 road games.
That's a great job of transition D that time by Virginia Tech.
Elijah Poteet into the game. He hedges. Brown takes the pass, kicks it out to Starling. Under 10 to shoot. He again tries to attack from the left side, and again a little too strong off the window. Couture in transition. In the same vein that Tech has to have good transition D, so too does Syracuse in spots like that.
Yeah, that's a break that time, though. Anytime you give Couture that much space, he's one of the better three-point shooters in the history of the ACC. Over 318 threes made in his career.
Brown's pass deflected out of bounds. Syracuse will have it when we come back. In this late season showdown, the Orange with a 4-point lead over the Hokies. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com.
Really a remarkable moment, and certainly one that I think they will remember for their life.
And we saw Andrew there doing his thing behind the Syracuse bench in anonymity, except for when our cameras catch him. And Quadir Copeland, as Bell has to put it up again with a shot clock down. He's now 0 for 2. Copeland continues to be that vocal guy in the Syracuse huddle, on the floor, and in the locker room.
He is, and we got a chance to see him last night in practice here as we take a look at a beautiful post-up by Poteet. And again, when he catches it that deep, he's almost underneath the basket. He's going to score every time. Great job fighting for position. But back to your point about Copeland, he has turned into their vocal leader.
Brown couldn't handle the pass from Mintz. It goes out of bounds. Coming up next, Texas squares off against Texas Tech over on ESPN. And the app, Ken 3,000-point score. Max A. Smiths lead the Longhorns to a road upset in Lubbock. Hokies with the basketball down by 2. Tyler Nickel, the North Carolina transfers, come into the ball game. Number 23 in Chicago maroon and burnt orange. The white lettering. And Jay Collins gets a friendly bounce, and we're tied at 8.
Great job that time of footwork, using that reverse pivot by MJ Collins, under control, then raised up over Judah Mintz.
And Collins plays such a big role in the backcourt. So much is made about Pedulla and Couture, but Collins is that guy who does a little bit of everything. Bell gets tripped on his way to the basket. And we saw some of the offense for Collins, who averages about 6.5 points per game. Just a sophomore, and it will continue to grow into a bigger role, I would imagine, in the coming years for Mike Young.
Yeah, and again, that's, I think, the key thing. Both these coaches, player development, get a guy in, and they continue to get better year over year.
Offensive foul and illegal screen against Malik Brown. Red Autry not so sure he agrees.
Well, we had a pretty good look at it, and Teddy Valentine right on that, and hard to argue that call. Again, he got the leg out, and certainly that's not a foul you want him getting right there. Just stay home. You can't have him getting into foul trouble.
Pedulla pulls the trigger. Nothing but net. That's his 3 from the corner to put Tech on top.
Well, I love the comment by Mike Young. He said he has no break. He's all gas, and I'll tell you what, he is one of the better scorers in college basketball. You give him any airspace, he will make you pay.
Well, after practice last night, as Nickel goes in off balance, Taylor with the rebound. Pedulla told us, you know, I hope I do better than the last time I was here. I had a great shoot around the night before last year's game, but then was really bad shooting the ball. He had a great shoot around last night. Early today, well, he looked good on his first shot attempt.
Well, I didn't see him miss many last night in practice. We were at it, so again, maybe he's looking for a change of events.
Lynn Kidd right to the rim again, points back to Pedulla, who picks up the assist.
Well, what's happening, and both teams are utilizing their bigs. They're setting high ball screens at the center of the court, and they're diving them right down the middle of the lane, and the help is not there. So again, it's all set up, though. Both teams doing a great job spacing the floor.
Starling gets it back from Brown, working on Pedulla. Mintz pulls from 3. He wanted the call. Didn't get it. Virginia Tech with it, on top by 2. Collins slams on the brakes, left it short, and Brown tracks down the rebound.
That's a great contest that time by J.J. Starling.
No surprise, Teddy Valentine and Judah Mintz having a conversation coming up. Mintz has it poked away by Pedulla. He's on the floor. Syracuse keeps. Starling finds Bell. No change of possession, so the shot clock at 8 as Bell misfires.
If that shot went down, it would have been set up by Judah Mintz's hustle. Twice in that possession, diving for a loose ball, keeping possession for Syracuse.
Nickel, air ball. Our officials tonight, the aforementioned Teddy Valentine, John Gaffney, Tommy Morrissey, working this Tuesday night game inside the JMA Dome. Starling inside, Brown carves out space and has the easy deuce.
Doug, early on, I've been impressed, both teams, post-entry passes. The bigs have gotten easy opportunities because the wings and guards have done a nice job passing the ball and enter it into the post.
Lynn Kidd off the feed from Pedulla, had it taken away. Great quote from Mike Young yesterday. He said, "What can we run to not involve Malik Brown? He is so good at poking basketballs away on defense," and there was another instance. Bell hanging in the air for 2.
And I would agree with that. Malik Brown so key to them, both ends, but especially the defensive side. He does so much on their rotations, rebounding, and rim protection.
Neither team has shot it well early from the perimeter. Hokies 1 out of 4. Orange 1 out of 5. And with that, we have another media timeout. Competitive start to the ball game. It's a 2-point Syracuse lead. Judah Mintz getting into the act as well. Well, Virginia Tech has done a nice job of identifying opportunities to score inside. The Clemson transfer, Lynn Kidd, has been excellent so far.
Yeah, and look at the post-entry passes right here. Poteet, 2 feet in the lane. That's got to change if you're Syracuse. And then right here again, another nice post-entry pass by Pedulla to Kidd. Again, the spacing has created those opportunities for those bigs to get points in the paint.
There you see the Hokies, what we were talking about earlier, only 1 true road victory. And it really is puzzling sometimes why their shooting doesn't travel as well. I mean, Pedulla and Couture are both tremendous shooters, Couture especially, and yet they've never, either of them, had a good shooting game in this building.
Yeah, and if you look at the numbers in their loss versus Pitt, 3 of 20 from the three-point line, 15%. And certainly, again, that's something that cannot happen if they want to get a road on the win against a Syracuse team like themselves that is playing for a spot.
Pedulla says, "My fault. I don't think he recognized how low the shot clock was when he gave the ball up to Poteet, so no basket. It's a shot clock violation." The other part of that, Malcolm, is that Syracuse defensively on the perimeter is not very good. They are last in ACC play at 39%. So you would think the combination of that porous perimeter defense and the way the Hokies can fill it up potentially could spell doom for the Orange. But, you know, shooting comes and goes. In their loss at Pittsburgh on Saturday, the Hokies were only 3 for 20. So again, there's another road game where it just didn't travel from Blacksburg.
Yeah, and I think also, for Syracuse, that number you alluded to, opponent shooting close to 40% from the three-point line. A lot of that with Mintz, again, not gambling, staying solid. He's done that early on in this game, not giving those open looks up.
It's Mintz finishing with the left hand, got a step on Collins.
He's so good getting to the lane, and that's a concern and problem for Virginia Tech, containing those quicker guards off the bounce.
7 points for Mintz to lead all scorers. You see the scoring drought for the Hokies. Now over 3 minutes. Poteet draws the foul on the reserve big just into the game, Peter Carey. And so Poteet who is every bit of the 265 he's listed, will go to the line for a three-point play.
Grown man move right here. Again, take the hit through contact, and he has been huge for them, providing that post presence. I think the problem right now, again, for Peter Carey, who's in the game right now, and also Malik Brown, you cannot let him get 2 feet in the paint. He's just too big and strong. If he catches it with 2, he's either going to score or you're going to have to bring a double team quick.
And Poteet began his college career as a Rice Owl. He is twice, once at Rice and once with Virginia Tech earlier this season. Scored 18 points for Tech. Carey fights for his own miss. Syracuse retains possession. Mintz draws the foul and will head back to the free throw line.
That's great work by Carey, again, keeping that play alive. And then Judah Mintz doing what he does. He's one of the best in college basketball and getting to the free throw line. Again, so shifty, so crafty, knifing through the lane.
Tops in the ACC in free throws attempted and free throws made this year. Top 10 in the country in those categories. Can there be a point, Malcolm, where somebody like Judah Mintz tries too hard to draw fouls and get to the line, or no?
Never, and I think that's where he's at his best attacking. Again, in particular, in transition, but in their half-court sets, I like that he's not settling for jumpers. You're either going to draw the defense and kick to a teammate or try to get to the free throw line or score for yourself.
Well, that has been his equation this year. Now 9 points to lead all scorers. He's only shooting about 30% from 3 on the year. Defensive breakdown. Syracuse catches a break as Bell recovered defensively. And the Orange come away with it. Here's Kyle Cuff. Gets around Pedulla. Right to the basket. What a move by the former Kansas Jayhawk.
You can see that's what Syracuse wants to do. Turnovers or on missed baskets, get out in transition and run.
Well, he has carved a role for Coach Autry with this short bench. He's been practicing well, and they love his toughness.
And they've rewarded him, and that toughness on display right there in transition. And we got a chance to take a look at him last night in practice, and the key theme, energy. I think that's what he brings when Coach Autry goes to the bench. He's in there to provide that energy, and you can see it on that last play. Come up with the loose ball, push the pace, and get a transition bucket.
Pedulla at the line, an 80% shooter, makes the first. Yeah, Kyle Cuff Jr., I don't know, did you play against his dad, Kyle Sr., at St. John's? He played for Mike Jarvis, or maybe it was a little after you were at Boston College.
Are you trying to age me? I mean, I think, yeah, but no, I did not play against his dad. But again, it's sad when you're getting up there in age and you see guys out there and said, hey, I played against your dad. You and my dad played against each other. But.
That happens to all of us. Welcome to your 50s. Justin Taylor back into the game for Syracuse. Here's Cuff taking the dribble handoff from Carey. Shot clock at 6. Copeland back to Cuff, who rises up and connects.
That was the best half-court possession of the game thus far early on for Syracuse. Very patient, good spacing. Ball went left to right, and then they got a wide-open look.
Well, both these teams fancy themselves as bubblicious. What does Mr. Bracketology think about it? We will hear from Joe Lunardi on the latest about both the Orange and the Hokies when we come back.
March, and I think it's so key as we're going to show some of the standings and the brackets going into the ACC tournament. Still a lot to play for both of these teams.
Quadir Copeland draws an ooh and an ah from one of the announcers and about 20,000 people in the building. Shot clock down to 6. Now Quadir is going to call his own number off the window. Syracuse now 6 of its last 7 from the floor.
And the dribble penetration continues to be an issue for Virginia Tech. Again, shot clock winding down, unable to keep the ball out of the paint.
Mintz, what a finish. Judah Mintz, Judah man.
Body control off the charts right here. He's going up to dunk. Great anticipation on the steal, and then watch him take the contact. Eyes on the rim the entire time. That is beautiful body control and finish. And one for Judah Mintz.
7 different Syracuse players already in the scoring column. They've got 5 averaging double digits during conference play. Mintz leading the way. First to double figures here tonight, and the lead extends to double digits.
Well, a couple things early on that Virginia Tech was doing a good job of. This right here, they need to get back to that, and then transition defense and keeping the ball out of the paint. In this last 3 to 4 minute stretch, that has been problematic.
Copeland splits the double team, hangs in the air, and goes all George Gervin on us. A nice finger roll to make it 31-20 Syracuse.
And that's a great split of the screen that time by Copeland. And again, the help is late because of the spacing.
MJ Collins, no with a left-handed shot. Here comes Copeland again. 1 on 3. What will he do? Goes a little Southwest Philly on us, but misses the shot. Now we've got a couple of them tied up. They're both okay. Copeland gets up, helps Robbie Barron back up as play continued, and get a whistle down at the other end.
Great show of sportsmanship right here again. And again, you like to see this. Obviously, no ill will. 2 guys just going after it and helping them up. But right now, 11-point lead for Syracuse. And Malik Brown back into the game. And I think those minutes that Peter Carey gave Red Autry off the bench, really huge. That's something he talked about. Getting that production when he goes to his bench. Just give me 4 or 5 good minutes.
Great backdoor pass, and the slam by Hunter Couture give the assist to Robbie Barron.
Couture showing off the hops. All set up, though, because he's such a great 3-point shooter. You try to overplay. Beautiful pass.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Cuff. Lowered his shoulder, and standing there waiting for it was Couture. And you reference Couture off the ball as we take another look at his defense. Is he the best in the ACC, Malcolm, at moving without the basketball?
He really is. Young players, every time you watch a Virginia Tech game, watch Hunter Couture, number 0 for Virginia Tech. Watch him move without the ball. Again, 318 3-point field goals made. He's the leader at Virginia Tech, past Malcolm Delaney. But watch him move without the ball.
Quadir Copeland trying to stay with him after fighting through the screen. Here's Poteet. Lost it. Regains. Orange with it. And by the way, that foul was on Kyle Cuff. You saw he took a seat with his 3rd personal. Mintz gives to Brown. Gets it back. Under 5 minutes remaining in the half. Starling. He's so good at the mid-range, and you know, the last 12 games, he's averaging nearly 18 points a night.
And they will do that again if they feel they have a mismatch. They'll just break off the play, let J.J. Starling or Judah Mintz go to work. Excellent offense early by Syracuse.
Couture blocked by Starling. Looked like he had a clear path down the lane. Mintz takes his time. Little slow-mo Euro and able to finish. Back to Super Tuesday presented by Progressive with Malcolm Huckabee. I'm Doug Sherman. Little end-to-end action for Syracuse turning that defense into offense.
Yeah, and that's really the name of the game right here. In transition, off of misses on turnovers, this is where they are lethal. We talked about it in the open. Judah Mintz, one of the best in the open court right there with the Euro step and finish.
So we talked about Syracuse's resume. It's not great, but the reality is they are still in consideration for a possibility to get into the field of 68. You know, those 18 wins so far for Red Autry in his first season as head coach are the most in the regular season for Syracuse in 5 years. It's been a really strong first year for the rookie head coach.
He's done an outstanding job, and really the job that he's done with this backcourt. And then you look at the guys that have come off the bench, how they provided some option for him, really, again, in his first season. Red Autry and staff, Jerry Mack, and Coach Allen as well, too, doing a great job with this program.
Well, they got those 2 quadwood wins. The best came here a couple of weeks ago against North Carolina as Starling puts it through. And then the other quad one win on the Syracuse resume is at Pittsburgh. And so, you know, it's not what some other teams have, but they don't have the bad losses on the other end, and they're hanging around. And as we said, in the words of the immortal Al Davis, just win, baby. Sean Pedulla hits the three.
He is so tough. Again, one of the better guards, not just in the ACC, but in college basketball. Right now, 6th in scoring points per game in the ACC, close to 17. And again, you give him any airspace, he is a difficult matchup.
Inside to Mintz, trying to post up on Pedulla. Well, Pedulla's not going to back down. He is New York tough, and he was proud to talk about that last night. The battles with his brothers in the driveway in Edmond, Oklahoma. He said the people of Oklahoma would look at them and say, "You're a little different." He's like, "Yeah, we're not here just to play. We're here to play and to win." Judah Mintz just trickled off the iron. No look inside Taylor, doesn't come down with it, and lays it in off the feed from Copeland.
Copeland is one of the better passers in the ACC. That is a beautiful dime. Again, look off alley-oop pass to Taylor, pinpoint passing. And that's what he brings to this Syracuse lineup.
Kidd draws a crowd of white shirts. Now Brown defends by himself. Copeland with a burst right to the rack.
We talked about transition defense. It's been a problem in this game. But Copeland first with the dime to Taylor. And then in transition, my goodness, Copeland almost taken off the credit. Coach Red Autry, Jerry Mack, Alan Griffin, the job they've done, player development, but also to Copeland sticking around. He could easily left.
Yeah.
Stuck around, and he is the heart and soul of this team in terms of the verbal communication. He is their leader and their vocal leader.
There's a great set coming out of the timeout. Kidd with the dime and the easy layup by Robbie Barron.
And they're going to need more of that, Virginia Tech. Again, Syracuse, a team very aggressive in the passing lanes. Again, we talked about it. They lead the ACC in steals, but they're going to try to get out in the passing lanes. Those backdoor cuts are going to be there.
Copeland going one-on-one. You know, he's every bit of 6'7", and he sees Robbie Barron trying to check him, and he's like, I can go.
And that's, again, continues to be the problem area for Virginia Tech. They just can't keep guys out of the paint, whether it's in transition or in the half court. That's got to change.
Nice feed inside. Barron goes up and over Copeland, but he couldn't find the range.
Barron took a hard fall there. Slow to get up and slow to get back.
A.J. Collins back into the game for Tech. Couture trying to hang with Starling, who misses. Final minute of the first half. The Hokies trying to finish strong before heading into the locker room. Here's Pedulla off the screen. And he misses badly. Syracuse will get the basketball back. Only a few games remain in the women's basketball regular season. Thursday, we've got two of the biggest on the schedule. Elizabeth Kitley and number 5 Virginia Tech take on freshman phenom Hannah Hidalgo, and number 17 Notre Dame at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Then on ESPN2, Angel Reese and number 9 LSU will square off against Georgia. Well, we talked about who's going to win the ACC Rookie of the Year on the men's side. We pretty much know who's going to win it on the women's side. Hannah Hidalgo for Notre Dame has won 11 ACC Rookie of the Week awards. Is unbelievable.
I would say, yeah, that's going to be pretty easy one to make. And right now in this first half, if you're Red Autry, you have to be pleased with how your team has defended and then gotten out in transition and really have been unselfish with the ball.
Judah Mintz has led the way. He's got 16 points. Timeout Syracuse. We'll take the break with him and be back to the Dome in 30 seconds.
Well, Doug, Syracuse with the 45-27 lead. But their defense, take a look at this play right here. Again, look at Copeland. He's guarding M.J. Collins. Now he knows 27% from the three-point line. Pedulla, one of the better three-point shooters. He breaks off his defense to go contest that shot and force an air ball. That's a great job of recognizing who you need to be out on and then also understanding the scouting report. Great job of team defense that time.
Mintz gives the foul before Pedulla can shoot. Syracuse had a foul to give. And so now the Hokies will inbound from in front of the scorer's table. Pedulla's got it. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Pedulla has an opening, pitch to the corner. Collins beats the buzzer. But the Hokies' road struggles continue. And for the third straight game, Syracuse heads to the locker room comfortably in front. They had to hang on to win to beat NC State and Notre Dame. Can out for NC State and Notre Dame to not only get back in the game, but almost win those games. So does the message get home from Coach Autry coming out right now that you've got to keep playing in the second half?
We were in practice last night, and that came up as they were going over the game plan for Virginia Tech. He said it's 40 minutes, in particular, though, the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Syracuse won the battle of the boards in the first half, 18-11, something the Orange have not done much of this season. Pedulla has it taken away.
And that's been key right there again. Guarding Pedulla and also Couture. Well, those two guys, again, one of the better backcourts in the ACC. They did a pretty good job in the first half.
Judah Mintz leads all scorers with 16 points. Here's his backcourt mate, J.J. Starling, 4-3. And in talking to him after practice last night, he acknowledged that he was a little too differential when he got here, transferring in from Notre Dame, trying to fit in. But he said the biggest turnaround the last 2 months has been the everyday work, as Lynn Kidd slams it home, the everyday work outside of practice he's been putting in with Jerry McNamara.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guy to learn from. He certainly could fill it up, but you can see the confidence. I think the biggest thing is the confidence. Again, he's always been a talented player, but he's playing and shooting with no hesitation.
Yeah, and I said to him, as a layman, here's Starling getting to his spot as he can do. You were a McDonald's All-American. Last year at Notre Dame, you were first team you were All-ACC, All-Rookie team. How does your confidence waver, but it just happens to the best of them?
Well, I think also, too, you're coming into a new system. Obviously, you're playing alongside another high-scoring guard in Judah Mintz. It took a while, I think, for him and also Mintz to figure out how to play off of each other. You can see that now, and they're combining for one of the better backcourts, not just in the ACC, but in college basketball. When they get it going, in particular in transition, they are very difficult to match up against.
Starling, a 6'4" sophomore from nearby Baldwinsville, played 3 years for the Baldwinsville Bees before transferring to the Midwest. Pedulla with the steal. Make sure Starling can't get to him with that little shoulder, and he gets the easy layup.
And that's a great use of the body that time by Pedulla, and in that first half, again, that wasn't an issue for Syracuse.
Mintz got into the paint as easily as that, dumps it off, and Brown has the layup.
And that's obviously not a strength of Virginia Tech, in particular against these quicker guards, trying to pick up full.
Couture after a good closeout by Bell. Ball goes through, count it. And so Robbie Barron gets credit for it. 17:34 remaining in the second half. The Syracuse lead is 17.
That's a great job by Barron on the glass. And again, Couture took 2 people with him, leaving Barron wide open for that offensive rebound putback.
Here comes Bell, who had a quiet first half, only scored a couple of points. And Justin Taylor, unsung again for Syracuse, not settling for threes anymore. He had 4 points, 6 rebounds in that first half. And on cue, Bell gets another 2-point shot. Both of them not just living on the 3-point line.
Yeah, great job moving without the ball that time by Bell.
Pedulla able to finish with the left hand.
Obviously, if you're Virginia Tech, you can't just trade buckets with Syracuse. They got to do a better job. It starts, though, with keeping the ball out of the paint. That's something they've been unable to do throughout this game thus far.
Catch and shoot for Bell. Good job to crowd him by Hunter Couture. Collins steps into a three and knocks it in. Nice rhythm to that shot for the sophomore from Clover, South Carolina.
And his shot looks good. Again, came into this game shooting 27% from the three-point line. That's nice footwork coming off a pin down. And a big three to try to cut into this deficit.
They find Bell open in the corner. That is his shot. 7 points, 5 quick ones here in the second half for the sophomore from Concord, California.
So Red Autry has to be pleased with that last possession again. Ball went left to right, extra pass.
Robbie Barron on second effort, taps it in, taps his own chest to say, sorry, teammate, I just cost you an assist.
Just like that. Again, 15 points, Virginia Tech hanging around, trying to cut into this deficit, and we've talked about it. Second half concentration for Syracuse key.
Starling frees himself from 17. Heating up in the second half. Now 11 points for Starling. Quick answer at the other end by Pedulla.
He is tough. Again, that's not bad defense by Judah Mintz. That's a guy switching midair to his left hand.
Taylor was fouled on the shot. And so he will shoot two.
Well, look at his ball movement by Syracuse. Bell with the corner three. Syracuse still showing some good ball movement, but then on the other end, Pedulla with the tough finish.
Of Syracuse basketball. Of course, Boeheim was head coach for 47 years. But what Red Autry has done, you know, they've already won 18 games. They could easily win 20, and they are still in the mix for a possible NCAA tournament bid. And, you know, this 18-10 record right now, that's the most wins for Syracuse in the regular season in 5 years.
Well, I had a chance to speak with Seth Greenberg before this game, and Red got his start in college coaching at Virginia Tech under Seth Greenberg, and he said, look, it always stuck out with me how good he was in practice, and we got a chance to watch him operate last night in practice and see him working his team right now, but obviously playing for a Hall of Fame coach and then spending so much time under Coach Boeheim as well afterwards. Obviously, there's a lot of knowledge that Red Autry has picked up, doing a great job first year with the Syracuse team.
And you know what, Malcolm, and we've talked about it off air. 5 to shoot, Bell fires. You know, it's not always easy transitioning from associate head coach to head coach, and how you carry yourself, conduct yourself. And we saw after the last game in the press conference, Coach Autry sticking up for his players, and in particular Justin Taylor. And then we have seen more fire from him in game as the season's gone on. We saw some of that fire, lob inside for Brown during that last timeout. And it's not a fait accompli that you're going to move one chair over and just immediately know what to do and how to do it and how to talk and relate to players that were always your best friend or good friend when you were the assistant. It just takes time, and he seems to be making that transition well.
He does, and it's certainly right now, team doing a great job defensively. But I'll tell you what, Hunter Couture, 319 three-point field goals made. His footwork and his movement off the ball, some of the best in college basketball. That is a tough three, as he just ran all over the half court and buried a three.
Who touched it last? Pedulla is going to be called for it. Bell was close, pulled his hand back, and then looked at the nearest official, John Gaffney, and said, I didn't touch it. Wasn't me.
But back to my point on Couture. Again, just so remarkable what he's been able to do. And amazing that he originally committed to Wofford. And he's talked about it. Look, he was content with that. And obviously Mike Young gets the Virginia Tech job. He goes with him and is turned into one of the better guards in the history of ACC. not just Virginia Tech, but what he's been able to do with his numbers.
And Couture picks up his third foul. John Gaffney telling him what he got called for. And he's part of a long list. Guys who fouled Judah Mintz. So Judah will head to the line to shoot a pair. Two of the top teams in the Big 12 square off Saturday in our ABC men's basketball featured matchup. 7th-ranked Kansas squares off against number 15 Baylor. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern, noon Central. Jayhawks have been making do without a healthy Kevin McCullough Jr. as they gear up the Big 12 tournament. They've got other options, but Kansas will be a threat come tournament time. And you know what? Nice feed inside. Malijal Poteet on the pass from Couture. You know, the big dance, the pass a little too tall, starts 3 weeks from tonight. We are getting close. 3 weeks from tonight, games will be played in Dayton, Ohio. Pedulla now with 16 points.
And some of his finishes, that one right there, a little running hook, high up over Malik Brown. And just like that, Virginia Tech trying to get this thing to within single digits.
Well, what was a 21-point lead is down to 14. Similar pattern as we have seen recently for Syracuse. Copeland misses. Brown had it. Knocked out of bounds to Virginia Tech. The Hokies just keep coming. So at this point, does it start to creep in at the Syracuse bench like, uh-oh, here we go again?
Well, I think it starts on this end right here again. They've done a good job thus far in this game limiting the three-point opportunities. But they got to obviously hone in on this guy right here.
Poteet and Brown get tangled. That foul's going to go against Syracuse to the chagrin of the faithful in orange. Back to the
COVID. He said, look, I drove onto the campus but couldn't meet with the coaches, and obviously not too many folks around out and about, but signed with him, and the rest is history.
Grew up in Edmond, Oklahoma as an Oklahoma State Cowboys fan. Looks the double team, finds his marksman in the corner, and I tell you what, Coach Young raises both of his arms in triumph. A beautifully run set coming out of the timeout.
All set up by Pedulla, who also leads them in assists as well, too. That's a beautiful dime. You can't set it up any better. Dribble drive, pitch it to the corner for a wide open three.
Pedulla called for the foul. That'll send Quadir Copeland to the line. Just the first foul on Pedulla. Yeah, both his parents are native New Yorkers. His dad was actually a left-handed pitcher at Fordham University, class of '82. He's now Dr. Dom Pedulla, a cardiologist in Oklahoma City. But he and the whole family still New Yorkers at heart, New York fans. But they are watching from home tonight here on ESPNU. He does have cousins in the metropolitan area, northern New Jersey. But it is something. The toughness that he brings is apparent. And whether you want to assign that to his New York City roots or not, he is, you know, he looks like a choir boy, but he is tough as they come out there.
You could tell by the way he plays. There is nothing soft about him at all. Love his toughness and his ability to score and score through traffic and through tough defense. Really impressive.
Open into double figures, lead back to 13. Here is Pedulla. Tyler Nickel into the game. Lynn Kidd doing Lynn Kidd things tonight. His stat line seems like every night is efficient on both ends. Copeland going to be called for the foul. Just the second against the Orange in the first 9 minutes of this second half. And Lynn Kidd 4 of 5 shooting, 8.7 rebounds. Ho hum. Just another night.
And does it such a quiet fashion. Again, you would never know that stat line, but that's what he does. He does all those little things for this Virginia Tech team.
Well, you know, he wasn't even a starter on his high school basketball team. But there's a reason for that. Lynn Kidd went to IMG and was a backup for, get ready, Zach Edey, Jalen Johnson, Mark Williams, Moussa Diabate, and Brandon Huntley Hatfield.
I just want to know who's playing that team.
He was a top 100 recruit in spite of not starting at IMG and had a couple of nondescript years at Clemson for really blossoming in Blacksburg. Mintz strong to the hole. Couture got a piece. Brown knocks it out of bounds. Hokies basketball.
Well, the defense has tightened up, and that's been the adjustment for Virginia Tech. They've limited those easy dribble drives and uncontested layups by Syracuse. Now they're trying to still get this thing to within single digits.
Dribble handoff to Nickel from Kidd, who sets the screen for Couture. Kyle Cuff fights through that screen. Inside to Kidd. And what do you know? Another left-handed layup for number 15 in burnt orange.
And Couture has done that multiple times. Again, he does a great job moving without the ball. He'll bring two defenders with him and then hit Lynn Kidd with a little slip screen that time. Nice pinpoint passing by Couture.
And that defense you talked about for Virginia Tech had held Syracuse without a field goal until that for almost 4 minutes. But Judah Mintz with a runner give him 20 points on the night. Nickel puts it up. Off the back iron. Mintz quickly up ahead. Copeland. Virginia Tech gets back. Copeland spin. Missed the reverse. Everything but the finish. Now Red Autry telling his team to get back. They do, and now the Hokies will run some offense. Kidd posting up on Brown. Love this matchup tonight. Kidd goes to the left hand again and finishes again.
That's a great job of patience by Virginia Tech. Nobody came for Syracuse. He waited to see if there was a dig or double. Took his time. That's a nice little soft jump hook.
Well, Kidd's best game statistically, he went 14 of 15 for a career high 31 points against American. Nickel blocks the shot. The Hokies can get back to within single digits. Couture dribbles through the defense and lays it in. 67-58.
And that's what happened late in the Clemson game. Gambles. Well, if you're Judah Mintz, again, you're not trying to steal the ball from Hunter Couture. Just keep him in front of you. Don't give up those easy dribble drives.
Pedulla went to the deck as Judah Mintz made the mid-range shot. Looks like Pedulla's okay.
And again, if you're Syracuse right here, no need to gamble for skills. Just keep the ball in front of you. Force contested shots.
Pedulla's pass a little low. Kidd able to gather. Again, he spins to the left hand. Scores again. Lynn Kidd once again makes it a 9-point game.
Well, they found the matchup they like, and they're just continuing to go at it.
Chris Bell. One and done with a quick three for Syracuse.
I think that's a quick jumper. Again, run clock. If you're Syracuse, you can get that shot anytime.
Pedulla. He's able to get right to the basket, uncontested. Timeout going to be called by Red Autry as the folks in the dome are getting restless. The Hokies back to within 7. Can they finish the comeback on the road? Virginia Tech run.
He's done a little bit of everything, but in this last 3-minute stretch, his offense right here, nice pass by Couture, the great hands to finish, and then they continue to go at the Malik Brown matchup. Nice spin over to his right shoulder, and he has continued to be patient, and he's getting high percentage shots. He has been the difference in this last 5-minute stretch to cut this deficit to 7.
Well, Syracuse controlled the glass in the first half, 18-11. But it's been all Tech in the second half, 12-5. And so the battle of the boards is even. The energy of Mike Young's club has been better here in the second half than Syracuse's energy.
Couple things. Virginia Tech has kept the guards of Syracuse out of the paint. On the other end, Syracuse has been unable to control the paint. Kidd and then also Pedulla and Couture have been able to get into paint and get high percentage shots.
Let's see where Syracuse goes out of the timeout. Cuff on the floor with Mintz, Copeland, Brown, and Bell. 10 to shoot. Oh, that worked. Good action to find Brown right down the lane for the slam.
Brown so crafty. Went like he was going to set a hard ball screen and just slipped it.
Syracuse with the takeaway. Copeland to Mintz, but he missed it. Big sequence here if the Hokies can cash in. Team had his shot pinned by Bell. Back and forth they go. Give it to Copeland. Mintz with the dime. Collins misses the three. Brown rips the rebound away.
What a block out by Malik Brown to keep Poteet off the offensive glass.
Tech playing without Lynn Kidd coming out of that break. And Syracuse has tried to retake control. Copeland missed it, gets it back. Fakes the pass around Poteet. On the switch, Brown doesn't take the shot inside. Instead, it's Bell from the corner. Nickel for three. Got it. Back to an 8-point game.
And Red Autry hot right there again. Simple pin down, no communication. The bigs either got to step out and hedge, or Bell has got to lock and trail harder. Clean look that time for Nickel.
Mintz crosses over Pedulla and is able to finish. 24 points for the sophomore from Fort Washington, Maryland.
Oh, he makes that look so easy, but that is a difficult finish with the left hand through traffic.
Poteet gets it back. Strong to the bucket for the dunk.
All set up by Hunter Couture's movement without the ball. Again, multiple times, because he's moving so much, he's forcing the big to have to come out and hedge, and then he's making some pinpoint passes off those little slip screens.
Mintz looking to go one-on-one with Pedulla. Able to finish, again gets to that left hand. The fifth leading scorer in the ACC, now up to 26 points, 8 better than his per-game average. Couture spins away from Cuff. Under 10 on the shot clock, under 4 remaining on the game clock. Collins backing down Cuff. No. Poteet on the offensive glass. The senior from Reidsville, North Carolina, is putting together a really good night for the Hokies, who are back to within 8.
Yeah, Poteet and both Lynn Kidd have provided excellent opportunities on their offensive glass for Virginia Tech.
Hokies have done a nice job getting out on the shooter Bell tonight. Good close out there by Couture, and we've got a foul on the floor that will take us to break.
But Malik Brown has done a little bit of everything for this Syracuse team. With the block, and then Copeland with the beautiful finish off the alley-oop. Couture continues to show his pinpoint passes. Syracuse, though, up 8.
Taking 4 of their last 8. Hunter Couture always in the middle of that. The all-time leading three-point shooter in program history. And you'll remember 2 years ago, he was the ACC tournament MVP when he put 31 points on Duke in the championship game victory. He's a big game player.
Yeah, both he and Pedulla more than capable of going off for 30+, as is Starling and Judah Mintz.
Mintz draws the contact, and he'll have a chance for 3. 28 points and counting for Mintz. His career high is 33. And that takes us to our next media timeout. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Bundle home and auto and save. Visit progressive.com. 28 points, 8 assists, or 6 assists, 3 steals for Judah Mintz, who is trying to seize control of what would be a third straight Syracuse win.
Well, this is what he does. He's one of the best at scoring the ball in the paint. Difficult runners and floaters, so quick and shifty. He makes it look easy. But for me, Doug, he set the tone defensively as you take a look at it and one. He set the tone defensively in that first half against a very good backcourt of Virginia Tech, and I think that is the reason why they had the big lead going into the half.
One of the other things he does is get opponents' guards in foul trouble. Hunter Couture just picked up his 4th foul. Mintz has drawn 5 fouls, and so now with that 3-point play, he has the Syracuse lead back to 11. Copeland saves it to the backcourt. Nickel wins the race to the ball. Now Collins with it. Nickel turns, shoots, left it short, back to Nickel. He'll try from deep. And J.J. Starling has it pulled away from behind by Pedulla. Collins wide open. And now Starling secures the basketball.
3 pretty good looks for Virginia Tech. Can't ask for more wide open looks. Nickel and Collins, and just unable to convert, and now Syracuse going to run some clock.
Starling didn't see the pass coming from Copeland, nearly took it off the noggin. Collins has it poked away by who else? Malik Brown. It is remarkable as he leads the ACC in steals per game. He may not get credit for that steal, but it's amazing how many times he deflects it away.
Some of the quickest hands I've seen. Again, in the post, in the passing lane, it seems like he's got his hand on almost every pass that Virginia Tech has made around him.
5 to shoot. Copeland lobs. Brown throws it down. Beautifully executed by Syracuse. Pedulla. Syracuse has it with 1:20. And on top by 13. The Hokies still giving chase.
Heads up play that time by Starling, not to take that shot. Again, obviously still runs some clock.
Starling gets downhill and lays it in. He's got 13, and Syracuse putting this thing away. What has already been the best regular season for Syracuse basketball in 5 years is nearing a 19th victory. Lynn Kidd scores again, and the timeout called from the Virginia Tech bench. 16 points for Lynn Kidd.
And then getting out in transition because of their defense. To me, that is going to be the storyline of this game.
Malik Brown, 12 points on 6 of 7 shooting, 8 rebounds, and again rock solid on defense. He's credited with 2 steals so far tonight. And the Hokies content down 13 to just let Judah Mintz dribble out their shot clock. And this crowd of 20,244 appreciates the effort here on a Tuesday night in Central New York. And they're also going to appreciate a warm walk back to their cars. It's late February and it was 70 degrees here today.
Well, I tell you what, snow, hot outside. Coach Red Autry and staff certainly will be pleased with the effort that their team put together. But make no mistake about it, Judah Mintz had himself a night. 29 points, perfect 8 of 8 from the free throw line. And I think this key number right here, Doug, 6 assists in that game. It wasn't just about him scoring. He set his teammates up with some easy opportunities to go along with excellent defense in that first half. Really great all-around floor game for Judah Mintz.
Syracuse raced to a big lead in the first half, bent, but didn't break in the second half again for the 3rd straight game, and improved to 19-10 overall, 10-8 in ACC play. Our final score once again, 84-71 Syracuse over Virginia Tech. For Malcolm Huckabee and our entire crew, I'm Doug Sherman saying so long from Syracuse.